lords and lasses. Welcome to the Floaty Lady channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about tattoo stencil printers. I went on Amazon and I purchased the highest rated tattoo stencil printer. It's a thermal printer. All right, so we have the Sacnahe tattoo transfer machine. Again, I just went on Amazon and bought the highest rated and reviewed machine I could find. So this is the Sacnahe tattoo transfer machine. Thermal printers work with heat and transfer paper. You can also buy transfer paper on Amazon. Let's open her up. Okay, as you can see, this thermal printer comes with transfer paper inside as well. It looks like there are 20 pieces in here. You can't forget the manual. Okay, this is a thermal printer. So again, on Amazon, I paid under $200 for this thermal printer. I noticed there's lots of thermal printers there that are comparable to this one, all within a similar price range. So I don't think there's much difference in the way that they operate. So let's go over the basic buttons here. We have the power switch. This front area here is where the document will come out. So the transfer paper goes in this side. This is the transfer paper input area. It comes through and it comes out the other side. You close. And this area here is where you feed the document that is going to be put onto the transfer paper. Sounds pretty easy in theory. Okay, we have a few buttons to look at here. We have, first of all, the mirror and the photo buttons. The mirror button is gonna actually create a mirror image of the picture that you want to put on a stencil. Again, the mirror button is going to flip the image that you put in here that you want to turn into a stencil. The photo button is going to create an exact copy in the same direction so that you don't have to flip the image. We also have deepness 1 and deepness 2. These two buttons seem to just control how dark the image is, so we'll play around with that. The power button and an error button. The error button seems to be a button that will flash to alert you that the printer is getting too hot. Again, this is a thermal printer. It works with heat. If this error button flashes, it might affect the functionality of your thermal printer. You can really only do 1 to 2 stencils at a time, and then you should give it a few minutes to cool down. Lastly, you have stop and copy. Stop is just gonna stop the feed, and copy is gonna start the feed. Okay. I've never actually used one of these, so let's try it out. I wanted to put the thermal printer to the test, so I've chosen 3 images, one very detailed, one sort of fine line image, and one sort of more traditional thicker line piece. Here's a piece of transfer paper. It has basic parts, 3 leaflets. What you're gonna do is open it up and just remove this leaflet. Why is that? Because it is the leaflet between the transfer material and this other waxy paper, and it could come off onto there. So this little piece of paper is just there to prevent that from happening until you're ready to use it. Now we can throw it away. Looks like there's some missing little areas here. So you might have a piece of paper, a piece of thermal paper that just has a little bit more on it than others. So check out your thermal paper and make sure you're happy and you're not putting the design in an area where there might be some defects. This back part is the yellow packing paper, and the front part is where your design will be. Lift this up, and we're gonna feed that yellow side through the machine on its own and pull and pull all the way through until the top is pretty much right at the edge here. And we're just gonna go ahead and close that machine. Next step, we're just gonna pull this part back again. Now we're gonna take our design and we're gonna flip that over. And we're just gonna put it into the feeder. Now we have the copy button here, and we have our hand back here. On the yellow. We're gonna start copying and we're gonna see how this works. So as we copy, we're gonna pull on this yellow part here, but very lightly. Okay, as you can see, the machine has heated. This side, you can see how the ripples in the paper are here. So that should now be transferred onto the white sheet underneath. Let's see if it worked. All right. I'm just gonna remove that yellow part. And now you see how this worked here. We have a very nice stencil. I think I did a good job for my first one. What do you guys think? Let's look at it a little closer. Super shiny. So I can see all the details of this particular one. So I think it's worked really, really well. Cool. Let's see what it did to the paper. Very interesting. So that's basically how a thermal printer works. I do want to put it to the test though. Let's get another piece. Again, we're going to remove that protective sheet. And now we still have our master copy of this, so we could keep making stencils of that one. We have this lighter image here. I'm wondering if this works on a thermal stencil printer. It's only half a picture. You could cut the paper in half as well. I do feel like maybe the top ridge of it might keep it a little straighter. It could be a little more challenging keeping those pieces together without that top part. But if you want to conserve paper, I totally get it. So that's locked and loaded there. I'm just going to start the copy. Okay, so we used a lighter image. Here's the side by. Okay. Yeah, so in the area where I see it missing, it's right here. So let's take a look. Image. Yeah, so I mean, it only really seemed to miss one spot there. I actually think it handled it really well. That could be another error, but I think this line weight actually does work okay. Here's the original again. Now we're on the mirror, so it's backwards. But I do feel like I see all the details that I'd want to see in order to tattoo this flower. Let's see it with the other one again to see the difference in the line weights. So again, thinner line weight, thicker line weight. Very good. What about heavily detailed? I realized maybe our camera angle was a little bit too south. We do have the yellow paper here. I just want to show you how this is oriented again. Take out our design. After we've taken that protective sheet out, we open it up this way with the seam on top. You want the other papers to kind of go behind nice and evenly like that. We're going to hold up this lid because it's just going to slam shut on you. Once you get the paper to come through, you're going to bring it all the way. So the seam comes to the edge right there. Try to get everything nice and even. And we're going to flip that top yellow part over. I'm going to try that super detailed design. This is Billie Eilish's new album cover here. It's just going to grip it for you. You're going to press copy once, and we're going to very lightly start pulling. 2 hands is probably better. I'm not really pulling as much as I'm guiding and just helping it come out. Okay, so the design is now on the white side. Let's see how this thing handled all that detail. There's the transfer stuff, and there's our design. Let's take a look. What I do notice, first thing, is it's thickened up some of the smaller details, probably because this one is more condensed. There's a lot of detail versus the flower is a little airier. So it does take the fine lines, But the areas where you've created too much shading, it's actually clumped together. Okay, so if you are stuck with only being able to use a thermal printer for high realism, you could probably pull it off, but you're gonna want to make stencils that have less detail, as little detail as possible. So I'd probably want to go into this one, maybe throw it through capture, decrease some of those shadows in there. All in all, I think it did pretty well, even with the detailed one. Look at the sweater. I'm really impressed. Okay, here are our 3 designs on paper that we can put onto people's skin. Yay! We created stencils. They look awesome. I definitely think this thermal printer can handle very light line weight. When you look at this and you look at the design, it actually looks darker in a way than the design. I think it's going to be fine, guys. If you're worried that a thermal printer might not be able to handle small details, this one actually might be great for you. I think, you know, I don't know if they all work as good as this one, but this one's been a good experience. You can find lots of different brands on Amazon for under $200. I didn't mess up once. I had 3 out of 3 prints on thermal paper, so I feel like it's easy to use. I would recommend buying separate thermal paper just because the one that came with the kit was folded a little bit. I don't know if that would make it harder to run through the machine, but I did use my flat paper to make it easier, to make the image look better and things like that. So they do give you paper, but it is included in the kit and the kit is mailed to you, so just keep that in mind. Plus, you should just have extra paper on hand anyway. They only give you 20 pieces and you'll probably run out. It's so shiny, shiny. Okay. Well, I hope that was informative. If you'd like to buy the printer you just saw, I put a link in the description below. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe.
Thank you. Bye.